Intrude.
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 Say exactly.
He asked why I haven't been coming around the house. I told him I didn't want to intrude. I didn't want to intrude. I didn't want to intrude.
Yeah, you should totally come.
Oh, I don't want to intrude. Intrude.
Oh, no. Hey, it'd be fun to get together outside of the office.
Well, I don't mean to intrude, but could you please keep your pants zipped?
I did.
Stay.
I don't want to intrude. I really don't.
Why don't you join us? I want to intrude. Maybe another time.
I didn't want to...
Intrude?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. No.
Yeah, because that is not like you at all.
How are you, Carrie?
I'm so sorry. I really didn't mean to intrude.
However...
Oh, I didn't mean to intrude. I just...
Cecile's my cooking class.
Oh, that's so sweet. No, I don't want to intrude. Three's a crowd.
For me, I'm afraid.
I'm sorry to intrude, Mr. Wyndham, sir.
Yes, what is it, Bryson?
The young lady.
I am sorry to intrude. Mr. Marlin said that I would find you here.
What are you doing here? I'm just getting a drink while Gloria and Manny see a show.
Well, please join us.
No, I don't want to intrude.
He doesn't want to intrude.
You are not intruding.
I'm just going to watch the game.
He just wants to watch the game.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to intrude.
Oh, no, that's it.
Relaxation.
Relaxation. Relaxation. Relaxation.
Relaxation.
Relaxation and tranquility.
For entertainment, for relaxation, for inspiration. What does Mr. Zimmet bring?
Hey, we just start with some simple relaxation exercises.
Yeah, I'm relaxed.
I know you are.
You realize that this is the elevator of relaxation. And now you're on the 3rd floor, going down, and you could get out, but you want to go on. Deeper, deeper, deeper into relaxation, relaxation, relaxation.
We're about to learn some simple relaxation tools to calm those angry and frustrated feelings. From 5, let the relaxation spread like a wave through your whole body. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
He found his meds.
Ankle.
Ankle. Ankle.
Ankle. Ankle.
It's a bicycle clip. You wear it on your ankle to keep your pants from getting caught in the bike chain.
Which one is this for? My mother-in-law?
The victim's body. Something was pressed against her ankles when she was murdered. Here and here. That's why there was no lividity.
Actually, the dude used to play a couple years ago, right? He busted his ankle. First game out.
And then on the day of the big audition, she twists her ankle. Goes back to the farm, gets married, and has a baby.
They'd have administered a paralytic agent, but they put a tourniquet on the ankle, you see.
I'll just be honest with her. I sprained my ankle.
No, what happened?
Is she all right?
Yes, she hurt her ankle on a rock.
No. It's on the other side of the ankle, too.
Oh my God, you're right. You solved it.
Put that on your ankle.
But I want to play. We're short one. I guess I could go back and coach.
What? Oh, bought one. There's only a few minutes left in the half. It really wouldn't make a difference. Now you just sit there and ice that ankle so you can play after the break. You hear me, cowboy?
Not asking for accolades. Hurting my ankle.
You know, your long skirt isn't long enough, lady. I saw your fat ankles. Calf, right into ankle. Cankles!
Mike, I
I twisted my ankle.
Good.
You think that's good? Watch this. Ow! Ow! Ow, my ankle!
You poor thing! Here, let me help you upstairs.
Arouse.
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 First, you need to return to your hotel room. We must not arouse the suspicion of Prince Victor. Arouse the suspicion of Prince Victor. Arouse the suspicion of Prince Victor.
We staggered our departures from camp so as not to arouse suspicion. Arouse suspicion. Arouse suspicion. Did you secure the skiff?
Look, Siobhan, the main thing is not to panic. You don't want to do anything that might arouse suspicion. Arouse suspicion. Arouse suspicion.
Well, I'm convinced.
Come on. One peck's just enough to arouse him a little.
You must follow my every command so as not to arouse suspicion, and under no circumstance can this slant-eyed brute come along.
This?
I never actually put my foot all the way down to the ground with the accelerator like that. It got me slightly aroused.
The point where I could not be held responsible for the consequences.
Well, from what I've seen, ain't nothing gonna arouse the major.
Very good, sir.
Yes. There's no trace that it had ever been opened. Nothing that would ever arouse suspicion on the other end.
No, I posted it from the Bureau 5 minutes ago. It was pristine.
It's not the object in itself that arouses my curiosity, but its contradiction.
Mika, you feigned interest in compromise so as not to arouse suspicion. Once you and I simply failed to reach a deal.
Transplant.
Transplant. Transplant. Transplant.
Transplant.
Serious? Oh, I don't know. I hope not. Think I may need a kidney transplant. Kidney transplant. Kidney transplant.
Shit.
Black market where you can get any kind of surgery you need, even a hand transplant. A hand transplant. A hand transplant.
You're sick, you know that?
Keep going.
Determination that we can't repair it.
What does that mean exactly?
He needs a transplant. He needs a transplant. He needs a transplant. And very soon.
Think of it as the anti-rejection drug that you take after any transplant.
I noticed you were scheduled 3 months ago for a bone marrow transplant, but...
Black market surgery. Anonymous transplant donors. He's dressed like she's. What's there not to like?
Graft versus host? You had a bone marrow transplant sometime in the last 2 years?
Spot of leukemia. Bone marrow transplant. I'm better now.
The plane was then designated a medical angel flight, transporting 2 young women awaiting organ transplant from Brussels to Paris.
Transplant from a bone marrow donor.
He's using it for his family. His sister, specifically, she's got cystic fibrosis and needs a lung transplant.
She had a degenerative coronary disease. She'd been on the transplant list for years, but...
But it was nice to hear.
You'll be okay once you have the transplant surgery. Have they scheduled that yet?
Acknowledge.
Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Acknowledge.
Acknowledge.
Can we at least acknowledge how ironic this conversation is? Really?
I would acknowledge that it was a slim hope and a thwarted hope, but the Tea Party is not about Obama. It's about putting pressure on both parties to reduce.
What's that mean then?
It means we acknowledge our faults. We acknowledge our faults. We acknowledge our faults. Things holding us back, and we repattern. We self-deliver.
Asian, and she broke up our group.
Look, let's at least acknowledge that things have changed between us.
I think it's hard for me to have something great every day and to acknowledge it.
Jesus, that's eternal. Jesus said this, whoever acknowledges me before men, he will acknowledge before the Father in heaven.
What was that about? That was about the mountain coming to my house.
You barely acknowledged my presence.
3 on the arc, too. I say this even though you refuse to acknowledge the ingenuity of my designs. Stop.
Or insanity.
We're still the good guys.
No, we have to stop saying that. Okay, we have to acknowledge the fact that we are acting the exact same way as the criminals.
What are you doing? Don't do this. Carrie, acknowledge.
Establish eye contact. Follow me. Force him to acknowledge my humanity.
Okay, I'm gonna check in with you. I'm gonna acknowledge that.
You could. Or you could acknowledge the skill involved, skill you need for your team.
The woman's actually taking great pains to hide the monster she's become. But if you acknowledge it, that brings the monster forth.
Epidemic.
Epidemic.
Epidemic. Epidemic.
Epidemic.
If we don't stop him now, this becomes an epidemic. An epidemic. An epidemic.
The plastic syringe is the root of the AIDS epidemic all across Africa.
What do I think? I know that the government is intentionally ignoring this epidemic.
Richard, the idea that any one person could have played a decisive role in the crack epidemic is absurd.
I think it's slightly more important to be able to limit the spread of an epidemic than know how to conduct yourself in a threesome.
So there's an epidemic of people leaving their TVs on.
Once we mistook the cries of a small puppy for a baby in distress.
She was in Bermuda, where she was scuba diving on the wreck of a Dutch slave ship that had been intentionally sunk because an epidemic of smallpox had broken out on board.
Of a coincidence.
Farsightedness and male pattern baldness are epidemic, Peter. At the beginning of this epidemic, your captain told you all that this ship was the safest place on Earth.
I think we may have an epidemic on our hands.
An epidemic? Wait.
What's the worst that could happen?
An epidemic.
Emission.
Emission. Emission. Emission. Emission.
Only by the EPA, and they mostly care about emissions. Emissions.
There are no factories here, no machines. And yet this heating up is caused by our own carbon emissions. Carbon emissions.
Hey, are you having a wet hallucination, Ed? Yeah, you know, nocturnal emission.
Even if we got a match, it still doesn't necessarily support her story. That could have come from an uncontrolled emission from the massage.
Crucial evidence.
The energy emission from the gun left a superficial burn on the killer's skin, which is visible under UV light.
Any sign of the Vierney?
Sir, nothing on the Flick 32. Zero electronic emissions. They're most likely radio silent.
I got the coins of the world, plus an emission spectrograph from the instrument archive.
Yeah. What's with the getup?
Well, I need electricity for the emission spectrograph, so I'm gonna tap into this emergency light up here.
I'm retracing the doctor's steps, and I'm already detecting low-level alpha particle emissions, Mr. Reese.
He's owned by the auto industry. His stance on carbon emissions is deplorable.
Boost.
Boost. Boost. Boost. Boost.
What are we doing? You're gonna need a boost. Boost.
Your arrest in 04?
GTA, I boosted a Firebird.
Nice. Information on my part.
I appreciate the confidence boost. Confidence boost.
Okay. Come on. I'll boost you up.
Charlie, what do you make? Good news. We've been trying to get to the gold in the safe, now the safe is coming to us. We're gonna boost it in transit.
You're the kind of sad case that preys on weak, stupid women in order to boost your own shattered ego.
So, we gotta boost the Joey's client list or what?
Well said. Now, in order to boost morale around here, I like to have a little friendly competition.
There's time. We should reconsider forcing an algae bloom to boost oxygen production.
One of DeBala's previous docs was prescribing ultra-high doses of niacin-bound chromium to boost his HDL.
So if I boost this painting, they'll know it was me. Then I'll be back in jail and no good to you.
Doesn't hurt to ask. If anyone wants to stop by, give his morale a boost, hope can heal.
Logic. 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 Logic.
Small logic question.
You're sitting across from me, right? I'm looking at you sitting there, so by your logic, maybe you're not real.
They seem to work in a mystical way.
There's actually a logic to it.
Any girl's dick you want. I'm not sure I agree with that logic. Now, here, come here, listen.
I do believe there's a mysterious logic or poetry to life.
Professor John Lennox, who teaches mathematics and philosophy, has demonstrated that there are not one, even two, but three errors of logic contained in that one simple sentence.
Is it not possible demons are the cause? That goes against logic.
I didn't wither on the vine. I'm thriving.
Good logic. Smart. Might gain you some leverage with the custody. Cross your legs a lot during dinner, slowly.
Can you follow that line of logic?
The whole logic of that just makes me want to scream.
They don't know how to talk.
Now you're playing logic police? You're standing on a staircase in a meadow?
Fortune.
Fortune. Fortune. Fortune. Fortune.
Anyway, he said you can stay here for the summer.
My good fortune. My good fortune. My good fortune.
It's your wedding. It's supposed to cost a fortune. Cost a fortune. Cost a fortune. I know. You only get married once.
He that hath children hath given hostages to fortune. 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 Well, if I was a hostage, then my son Richard was my captor, my enslaver.
Hey, I'm right here.
I turned down the role, turned my back on fortune.
Second favorite.
He went to Canada to make his fortune.
And make it, he did.
As I will make mine.
Album be worth a fortune. Not to mention tanking our record sales if it leaked online.
Painted by the U.S. Treasury. These are worth a fortune.
Now we have our motive for murder.
Just one of these.
This will include the bulk of your wife's fortune. It is.
Jake has a vast fortune. All she has is a spotty past and a lot of debt.
This bat must have cost a fortune. It was made to kill pitches, not pretty young women.
There may be a way to turn Linda's bad luck into my good fortune. But first...
What's his weakness?
His fortune.
When you say that's his strength?
Not if it's slipping away.
You want your freedom and fortune. We want information.
Publicity.
Publicity.
Publicity. Publicity. Publicity.
Hasta la vista, baby.
We haven't even seen the book. What's the problem? You don't trust our publicity department? Publicity department? Publicity department?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just a gym teacher, but it seems like a video like that would probably affect college admissions, possibly a lawsuit. Tons of bad publicity, tons of bad publicity, tons of bad publicity.
I'm sure Mr. Mayor would reject the old adage that there's no such thing as bad publicity, bad publicity, bad publicity.
It's big tobacco.
Winning a tobacco lawsuit would get a lot of publicity.
Why would he do that?
Maybe to get sympathy for his movement, publicity.
And since he placed the bomb between two dumpsters?
Isn't the most logical explanation that this is all a publicity stunt, a way to make headlines to drum up book sales?
I assure you, Brooke, it was no publicity stunt. I would never do that to my family or my fiance.
Publicity has drafted a rather compelling statement, and I will be doing the talk show rounds to control the spin.
She's dressed up to look like...
Copycat Archer. Guess all that positive publicity you've been getting has a downside.
Well, whatever the reason, we need to find him.
They were partners. With all the recent publicity, Natalie became a liability.
How? What's my reason?
You're writing a story on cyber terrorism. It's free publicity.
Revolve. 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 Revolve.
Revolve.
Not only is the world round, but it revolves around the sun, revolves around the sun, revolves around the sun. Now I have that knowledge.
It's great to have such a supportive family. World doesn't revolve around you. World doesn't revolve around you. World doesn't revolve around you.
Hey.
Deal for a hurricane.
Westerly winds kick up condensation, forming cumulonimbus clouds which begin to revolve around a central axis. Revolve around a central axis. Revolve around a central axis.
Feels like the whole world revolves around me somehow.
Idiots! Every schmo has the fantasy that the planet revolves around them.
Oscar's world revolves around Mom. But there are 35 other chimpanzees in his group that make a kind of extended family.
When I was a kid, my favorite teacher was Mr. James. Mr. James said, world events all revolve around 5 things. M-O-N-E-Y.
Children. Now, the fragments of stories that have survived, they all revolve around him needing the souls of human children to survive. Now, each...
Nothing. We have what Bronson told you, what Rashid told us. We know that this revolves around something that happened the night Zawari was killed.
A lot like you're avoiding Mom.
I'm not avoiding Mom.
You're lucky your life does not revolve around lying.
Statement.
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 Da Vinci has his Mona Lisa. Renoir has his boatman's lunch. Where's my defining statement? Statement. Statement.
You sound insane.
Away from carpenters who are just trying to feed and clothe their family. Closing statement. Closing statement. Closing statement. Silence is compliance.
Change. He's down there all the time. If he's not there, I don't know where to find him. That's your statement, right? That's your statement, right? That's your statement, right?
Pretty much. I got a bank account statement.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There were some discrepancies in the statement you filed 30 years ago. In the report, it's noted that you said he filled up at 7 a.m.
Confiscate cameras if you need to. Put out a statement before rumors get started. And get everyone out of here. Now.
My entire life that way. For example, it is a true statement when I say that I went to Yale and graduated in 2002.
So, which statement is correct?
Please. She recanted the second we asked her to make an official statement.
Well, of course she did. Carla was married.
And he took an instant dislike to Pendry, thought his statement sounded rehearsed, convinced himself that the scene was staged.
Through is very stressful. You feel up to making a statement?
Yeah, come this way. Police precinct. Nothing's going to happen to you here. Just need you to make a statement about where you were when your mother died.
And Perry Westmore are calling it quits. Although the couple issued a statement saying the divorce will be amicable.
So I asked Reggie to help take care of the finances. I'm supposed to get a monthly statement, but he's 2 months behind.
Commission.
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 And the funds confirmed, your commission will be processed.
You're him. Hey, buy a ticket here. If you win, we get a commission. You're good luck.
Sorry, wrong dude. Keep the change.
No priors, no complaints from the taxi and limousine commissions.
Sorry, doll. This box has been out of commission for a week.
According to a psychic, her box is going to be out of commission forever.
I just got Sycamore, a house that sells itself and gives me the commission. Oh. Commission accomplished.
I have a friend who wants to buy a house. Maybe I could show it to him after school. Then if he buys it, I'd get the commission. What would that be?
Till my people get there. Although if you do kill her, I'd be happy to cut my commission.
There's another way. Take control of ops. Ryan's out of commission. Nikita's off on one of her personal missions. We have a window here.
Where's Michael?
Out of commission. For now.
You guys ever read the Warren Commission?
We'll call you, Jerry. I mean, a victim could have been wearing gloves because he was involved in the commission of a crime.
No other smudges on his record, except for a Securities and Exchange Commission investigation that involved him 6 months ago.
Catch.
Catch.
Catch. Catch. Catch.
Date. I can't believe I had to trick you into a date. I'm a catch. I'm a catch. I'm a catch.
Attaboy.
Maybe we should have a catch sometime. A catch sometime. A catch sometime.
Oh, I want that so bad.
Oh.
Went after him. I know. And what? Kill him? No. Catch him. Catch him. Catch him.
We blow the lock. There is a catch. A backup generator inside the mountain.
You listened. You let someone else's natterings penetrate that attic you call a skull, and it helped you catch a killer.
We want to thank you. Fine.
So I want to know what our plan is. If we catch this man.
God's deceptions were a time-consuming dead end. We have a murderer to catch. I watched the video of your interview with John Bowden.
Home's the last place I'm going. Not till we catch the son of a bitch who did this. Right behind you.
We're fine. Yeah, on this one, I'll just be making phone calls, boring stuff. I'll catch you later.
Catch me anytime.
Estoy herido. Get off the ship, man! Whatever you do, don't let them catch you. Voy a intentar.
Up front. Remy's holding them for us.
Go ahead, I'll catch her. Hello?
Melt.
Melt. Melt. Melt. Melt.
You can't stay here. You'll melt. You'll melt. You'll melt.
I am not leaving here until...
You know how long it takes for your skin to melt, melt, melt? I do.
Thank you.
The lamb, Dr. Halloran, to melt in your mouth.
The lamb it shall be, Duchess.
I know, sweetie, but Uncle Mickey says we have to stay.
Why?
Because your face will melt off and your hair will fall out.
Quickly! Let them out before the roses melt.
Roses can't melt, Papa.
These ones can.
Match. My kids are gonna melt!
Who almost burned down our garage?
He likes to melt stuff. Like you're so perfect.
I'd power down if you don't want me to melt your face.
Philosopher. Philosopher.
Philosopher.
Philosopher.
Philosopher.
The philosopher Henri Bergson says it's funny when a human being behaves like an object.
This guy was an inventor. He was a philosopher. He was
Give us a quote of your favorite philosopher.
Philippa Foot was an English philosopher.
Oh my God.
Life is a test.
Oh no, philosopher king bullshit. Money, please.
Jeremy Bentham? He was a British philosopher.
We've all heard the proverbs, heard the philosophers, heard our grandparents warning us about waste.
Good. Michel Foucault was a French historian and philosopher associated with the structuralist.
From the time of ancient Greece to the present day, philosophers and scholars have argued man is essentially rational. I don't happen to agree.
Slight.
Slight.
Slight. Slight.
Slight.
Any misuses, however slight, will end your art privileges.
We may owe you a slight apology. Slight apology. Slight apology.
Slight.
Don't get greedy. Take it.
But maybe with a slight adjustment.
What's up? We have to take a slight detour.
I was just running off with slight neuroses. It'd be easier just to let it slide.
Like Milf did they?
It's like a change of plan.
You should disappear like we said.
With a slight reduction in interest.
With each answer, a prisoner gives slight variations.
Pop on your safe house phone. A slight delay in authorization using your credit cards.
Angel.
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 Go ahead that way, you'll find the pool, a restaurant, 2 bars.
You're an angel. You're an angel. You're an angel. You are. I'm in love with you. I am. Positively in love with you. You guys haven't seen my wife. Let me show you my wife. This is my special angel. She even looks like an angel with a halo. Do you want to see that? Look, you see with the white veil over the edge. She even looks like an angel. Now everyone says that his wife is an angel, but this is a real angel that you are seeing there on the cameras. They won't put that in the video, I don't.
She's making this up.
Will came home from college and told her it was over. He'd fallen in love with somebody else.
So you're here for revenge?
Yep, my sister's avenging angel. Avenging angel. Avenging angel.
Miss Moritz, it's Alicia Florrick.
Ah, right on time. I appreciate that.
I'm here too, Petra. You have 5 minutes.
Oh, well, I like a guardian angel.
Let me take it to the president. You know, he's really a nice person once you get to know him. Seems like an angel.
Dr. Lightman was born hostile. He also happens to be my ex-husband.
Guilty as charged. But, you know, it was my loss, because truly, she is an angel.
Dr. Hamill? Hi. Angels of death follow a very specific pathology.
Angel of death. Is that what you think this is?
Come here, little princess.
Ooh. Yeah. Nicely done, son.
What's the matter, baby?
Yeah. Hey, angel.
I had no idea that he went to you. And he was crying. Oh, my poor angel.
They want to know who's in your life. Are they a good influence, or are they going to steer you back to the dark side?
And you think Sarah could be an angel on my shoulder?
As opposed to that little devil you have on your shoulder.
Illustration.
Illustration.
Illustration. Illustration. Illustration.
This isn't just an illustration. An illustration. An illustration. This is the door.
Yeah, what? Why are you not more excited?
No, I'm so psyched. I just thought that was about that job. The illustration job. The illustration job. The illustration job.
And Jason Monty's parents saw his illustration of their hygiene.
Bev and I separated a couple times. Of course, we didn't call it that.
Help us with an illustration from your storybook marriage.
I studied at the Watkins Art Institute in Nashville. And I took some illustration classes in New York. This is
I rip up her picture, which she can then present as an illustration of my cruelty to her and her love for you. There are 27 illustrations in this book.
So?
Even if I told you all, even if I provided step-by-step instructions complete with illustrations and a well-composed FAQ when I went Red Ring.
Computer science, and I've also studied biomedical illustration at American University. This is the body from above our bed. Now, I went through all of Vesalius's illustrations and found the one that most closely resembles plate 34, De Humani Corporis Fabrica.
There was a page that I took out of the book. Had an illustration of the door on it. This is the door we've been looking for.
You think the author is trapped in an illustration, but that would mean...
The sorcerer imprisoned him in the book.
You can't possibly compare impeachment
It's an illustration, Jackie, of what the future looks like.
Add.
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 Ed.
Add.
I like Christy. She was one of my best dancers. But I have nothing else to add. I'm sorry.
Spaghetti.
What do you think?
I think it's not exactly the Continental Congress, but all we need to do is switch one vote.
Or add to.
Mr. Loker, you've been very quiet. You have anything to add? You have anything to add? You have anything to add?
value for the company.
No. Strike three, Verdi. You struck out.
I'm sorry, Mr. President. Did you have something to add?
We were broke. Now that we have some reserves, why are we so anxious to spend them?
Because we need to grow. We need to hire and add offices.
And end up right where we started?
Big chunk went to cover the debts you accrued over the last 3 years. You sunk a large sum into the shop.
To build a business so that I could settle those debts. I mean, not to mention making life for myself. On your advice, I might add.
Every day we get new clues, and today we got this one.
2 days later, Jill arrived at school. Now that Jill was murdered, that's bogus.
No body, no murder.
Doesn't add up.
You say what it's about? Who else is coming in? Everyone?
Yeah, well, it would be easier if it wasn't Saturday already. But I can add 30 people to the list.
Diana, how's it going?
We burned Larson, Kyle Albertson alias.
Good. I've got another name to add to the list. Brian Blytek.
On it.
You're not going to a funeral?
No, I'm going on a date. I'm going to add a scarf.
You know what you should add, Mommy? A match.
Affection. Affection. Affection.
Affection. Affection.
Passion may have strength. It must not break our bonds of affection, of affection, of affection.
Beautiful daughter, and presents her with a small token of my affection, my affection, my affection.
This should never have happened.
And the battle for Mike's affection, got ugly.
I hope you realize you trying to keep your distance from me in no way lessens my affection for you.
Do you know how to create a disturbed personality? Constant criticism and lack of affection.
See? I think you can handle affection better than you give yourself credit for.
How could you say that to me? I'm your wife.
We both know why we got married. And it had nothing to do with affection.
For Gabrielle, the best part of having sex with a new man was seeing how quickly his affection would turn to obsession.
No messages.
Is inflicted by a cunning ex-wife, or a blow delivered by the object of our affection.
PDA.
Public display of affection?
Elizabeth, can I use your jacket?
Sure.
Listen, before we leave, I should warn you, I'm a passionate man, and I tend towards public displays of affection.
How does that work?
Well, you skip over any attempt to repair your emotional connection, and you win back her affection with an empty financial gesture.
Plug.
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 Lug.
Firewood. And now it is time to give me all cell phones, iPads, anything that plugs in, goes into this bin.
Come on, guys, disconnect. Give them up.
Phil, if I think this mission is too much for you, I'll pull the plug. I'll pull the plug. I'll pull the plug.
Yeah, it's fine. I understand. Work. He plugged his phone. He plugged his phone. He plugged his phone into one of these jacks.
What makes this case so different that you want to pull the plug now?
Did you reach him? No. If we both plug in, we should be able to do it while he's speaking.
Well, we can't have that in a children's book. We just pulled the plug on publication, so that's good.
Koff's computer just into the office next to his. You plug this into any 220 outlet that shares the same wall with him.
Once I'm there, plug the end of this line as the signal to stop.
It's?
I mean, I pulled the plug right before you got there, so Jangles got there before us.
Today, actually, I don't know my boss's number off the top of my head. I need to plug in my phone so I can get it.
Would you plug in your tablet, please?
Oh, did you decide to remodel?
Long story.
Unless I can waltz up to Merlin's mainframe and plug in my tablet directly, there's no way of getting that location.
Eyes lift filler.
Plugs, veneers, not my chin.
See?
Advanced.
Advanced. Advanced.
Advanced.
No way a computer can give you a better workout than a real sparring partner.
Oh. State-of-the-art technology. More advanced than a human.
Okay.
Arthur, it's me, Sheldon Cooper. But you may not remember because of your advanced age.
Trust me, I remember.
I'm not the boring lab drone I was when I was at S.H.I.E.L.D. I made use of advanced technology. I transcended artificial boundaries.
But what about the how? A home like this will have an advanced security system.
Yeah, I heard of these ones. Yeah, it's got advanced legs.
I got into coding. By the time I got to college, I was pretty advanced.
An advanced programmer.
So you're the new girls, huh?
Huh?
Well, me and my friends dance a little. Maybe you guys can give us some pointers.
Sure, but I have to warn you, we're a little advanced.
How many are we up to?
At least 30 with advanced symptoms, another 24 with early signs.
Remember, the other day, I was scrounging in that military junkyard?
No.
Well, I found an incredibly advanced AI microchip.
I can never find the tiller. I got a book. It didn't help.
Yeah, I always thought if I were ever enslaved, it would be by an advanced species from another planet.
You mean where they were advanced enough to invent an interstellar warp drive, but a black lady still answered the space phone?